Ghanatube so snowy masai swatena say Elsia for Dimechi na yenkotie ensemba kumienu bi a ekoso ewo o mangani muna say ba na de eka hono me de atwaso amamo Dimechi.
Ghana Police Service has been hit with yet another major shakeup as over 80 officers, including 2 of those implicated in the leak tape scandal, have been reassigned. Now, this has also generated, some reactions and conversation. And these are the 2 persons we're talking about. Superintendent Emmanuel Eric Jebi has been reassigned to the CID headquarters, and Superintendent George Asari has been reassigned to the Judicial Protection Unit of the Ghana Police Service. This is at the instance of the Inspector General of Police, Christian Tete Yohunu. Now, this is it. These persons, these 2 we are talking about, after this particular leak tape saga all started in sometime in July 2023, then that ad hoc committee was set up by Parliament to look into it because a member of Parliament brought it up on the floor of Parliament. In December 2023, a draft report was ready, but then again, fast forward into last year, 2024, July, there was a report that was laid before Parliament without the chairman approving the said report on this leak tape, purported to have some persons, 4 individuals captured in there, plotting to remove the former or immediate past IGP, Dr. George Dampare. We saw the public hearing of this particular ad hoc committee. Most of it was broadcast on television. Now, in July 2024, when this draft report was laid before the House, Samuel Atachia, who was the chair of this committee, did not have his signature on it. He did not approve it, but then again, it was laid before the House. These are the alleged conspirators we're talking about on this tape. COP Alex Mensah, retired, Superintendent George Asari, and then Superintendent Emmanuel Jebi. These 2 who have been reassigned, Daniel Bugri Nabu, the former Northern Regional Chair of the NPP. And these were the findings of the committee. The tape, indeed, that was leaked, capturing the said alleged plot to have the president remove Dr. George Dampare, the then IGP, was indeed authentic, according to the committee. And the alleged conspirators aimed to replace the IGP with a loyalist of the MPP. Actions were politically motivated and unprofessional, and a host of other findings as well. They had issues pertaining to promotions that are before Shraj and the court. The allegations of extrajudicial killings, according to the committee's finding, could not be substantiated, and they made recommendations that the president should determine sanctions for the 3 police officers. Election task force should ensure transparency in operations. Well, this was before the election, so you can understand why. And then Parliament should be involved in appointing the IGP. A few other recommendations as well, establishing an independent police complaints commission, and the higher qualifications should be considered in officers' promotion. All of these recommendations, as we speak, are on ice because this matter was not concluded by the 8th Parliament. And so what's going to happen to these recommendations? Richard Kumado is a security analyst joining us right now. Mr. Kumado, this leak tape saga and the investigations into it hang in the balance right now. The 8th Parliament's ad hoc committee has died with the life of that Parliament. But then, should we just leave it and close our eyes, move on as if nothing happened?
I would have wished the matter would have been conclusively concluded, so that we take the particular lessons learned forward going to the future. And the way it is now, the IGP was aware of the committee's work and the conclusive remarks they put on Parliament, and to the extent that the 8th Parliament did not do what it's supposed to do, particularly to this report, and the confusion that erupted between the chairman and the other members of the committee, he went ahead to bring these officers back. If what was in the report was something to go by, then I think some of that thoughtfulness would have gone in before bringing them on. My holy wish and prayer is that the particular lessons learned in the area of the role they play in the link tape would have been taken seriously as we go into the future. So let's wait and see how it unfolds. But these are questions every credible person who followed the process would have been asking.
And to the extent that this whole politics about the IGP and the internal workings and the internal issues within the Ghana Police Service are still relevant and were part of the recommendations of this ad hoc committee, albeit without the chairman's signature, is it one that you would expect or have the current IGP, Christian Tete Yohono, also pay attention to?
Definitely, particularly the role the 3 officers play in the league tape. It wasn't something that was professional, in line with professional conduct, in line with being a police officer, and many of the trenches they've got themselves involved in. If you bring such officers back, we have to be careful. Other than that, we are creating the precedents which will come back to haunt us. My uncle Yohono was part of the Dampare administration, and if you remember, when I said some of the cardinals of Dampare that took him home earlier, these were some of them, particularly in the area of interdictions and the area of promotions, and the need for some level of circumspection when it comes to the judicial extrajudicial killings, which the committee found not to be true. A little bit more circumspection was needed, and a little bit more investigation from the part of the police themselves. And if you look at the number they are bringing, not even only the 3 people, but these are a lot of numbers. Why they went home, the circumstances under which they went home, if they are not investigated and properly concluded by Yohono, and he brought them back, I think some level of work will have to be done about this. Other than that, we are setting up a bad precedent. Perfect. That may create many more problems for it.
And in expecting some work to be done, who has to initiate this? Because previously it was Parliament, because the Speaker took interest in this matter, set up this ad hoc committee, which indeed confirmed the authenticity of this leaked tape. I mean, the life of this ad hoc committee has ended with the life of that Parliament. Who has to take up this work?
Okay, the police administration itself has a way of cleaning up itself. There's high levels of lawlessness within the police service, a chain of command issues, indiscipline. Many of these things my uncle Yohono is aware. It cannot be true that many of these people who went home, they went home based on vindictiveness and prejudice and bias, particularly when it comes to the particular tape we are talking about. And if you follow the precedents, you can see officers who have gone beyond their boundaries, who have flipped off, becoming police officers into the political arena, and they did everything within their power to ensure that the IGP was removed, label him with some level of accusations, to the extent that these are parliamentarians and the findings were to the contrary. I was thinking 2 things ran through my mind. A lot of thoughtfulness should have gone in, particularly the lessons we learned following the proceedings. If we badmouth Dampare in the manner we are doing, and we throw in the towel that Dampare is gone, so everything Dampare did is bad, and we overlook many of the things that led to some of these officers going home, and we brought all of them back. We are heaping on many of the indiscipline issues we spoke about as part of what is cracking the police. I'm only hoping that my uncle Yohono will build a strong capacity, and his backbone will be strong enough to run this police service and police administration in a manner that befits a police service that is capable of dealing with the 21st century policing. Other than that, I know that non-punishable offenses will always rationalize bad behavior and promote antisocial tendencies within the service. And that is something we need to be watchful and mindful of.
Mr. Kumado, I appreciate your time. Thank you so much for joining us. Richard Kumado, security analyst, joining us here on Ghana Tonight.
Madam, as I mudi mechi ekotie ensema ekoso ansa na mesori musun me kai wo se ha Ghanatube so ubetimi eja wo comment e de amayen na ye bekin kan e de amofo fefe won subscribe na fa wonsa emia notification bell no so se de be ansem no 72 na wenya no intempa so modofo snowy ni ebusiafo makram.